Hi everyone, thanks for joining us today for Tech Community Call, which is the number 6 actually already this year. So we have a few people with us today to discuss some update on the BSC side with a few BEP that we're going to discuss, and then we'll finalize with Greenfield as well. Because as you might have seen, the mainnet has been active already since today. So we're going to review a bit the journey from testnet to mainnet, and then a few use cases with StoryChain, Mason, and Rido, which is going to join us as well later on. So maybe if you could introduce a bit yourself, we can start with StoryChain and then we can go up to you, Mason, a bit about what you've been doing with Greenfield, and then later on we'll go into more technical details of Greenfield feature and how you've been using it.
Hello everyone, it's a pleasure to be here. This is Jem from StoryChain.ai. It was one of the participants of recent Hackvolution. So we have been leveraging BNB Greenfield and also BNB chain overall.
Great, thanks. Up to Mason, Leo or Martin, if you want to go ahead quickly to give one of you two to give an intro of Mason.
Hello everyone, I'm Martin from Mason Network, and actually we are starting from the decentralized storage, that's decentralized bandwidth industry, and last 2 years we have already been the first gateway and the default gateway and the first decentralized gateway of the IPFS and the RWIF, and so far we have already integrated with the Greenfield. So in the coming future, we hope to contribute more to the in the industry of the decentralized storage, especially to shake hands with the Greenfield. Thanks, everyone.
But yeah, I think we'll go more into detail as well into what you've been doing for the BSC, because I think there's quite some interesting news, especially regarding archive node and sync as well. So let's jump right into it, especially on the initial side, which is more linked to, let's say, some BP on BSC. So the first one I want to update a bit the community about. So we have a few, let's say, high priority or hot topic, if I can say so, on the forum itself. So the first one is, for example, about segmented historical data on the BSC. So as you might know already, there's a rapid growth of the BSC, which has resulted in, for example, significant amount of historical data. So for example, as of early July this year, the storage is approximately more than 1.2 terabytes. So of course, this is including block headers, body, and receipt, which is quite a rapid growth into the size of our ledger. So the motivation is really to be able to, it's not about space only, but it's really about efficiency operation as well. So it is clear that we don't need to store everything, but we do need to potentially plunge some data as well or delete some data. So this is where potentially we are trying to address this challenge of the storage, which is quite growing rapidly within BSC. So we have a few, the community is discussing a few different implementation detail. So of course there's various potential solutions. So I do invite everyone to join our forum and potentially discuss such kind of solutions as well, where potentially we can see that there's a pruning of old segments and only, for example, the latest segment are the one which are kept into the node. So this can drastically increase the time on which a nodes need to synchronize to be able to join the network. So this synchronization challenge is something that is quite complex within the BSC network, especially due to this high size of the ledger. And actually, Mason, I know you've been working as well on a specific tool that maybe let me share it as well to the community, because it's definitely into this topic as well. And maybe you can describe a bit what you've been doing into addressing as well this challenge, utilizing your current distributed solution. So I'm thinking of this specific tool that is helping to reduce drastically the synchronization time. So I do invite the community to look into this tool and potentially try it out when they want to sync BSC node as well. So maybe do you want to explain a bit what you've been doing here and how it can be leveraged by the BSC community to speed up the synchronization of new nodes and help on the decentralization aspect as well?
Sure. I'm Leo. I'm actually one of the developers and Mesh network, and actually give you guys a little bit more update about the general context here. Actually, we have seen the continuous developing of BSC chain, which is one of the biggest chain, of course, one of the most active chain currently, and we also seeing a new chain of OPBNB is coming recently. So of course, currently with more like requirement of the speed of the public chain, we have seen accumulated data grow every day. I mean, currently, we have seen that BSC chain has grown to like 2 terabytes of history data. So you can see this. This is the Mesh Network BSC snapshot repo, where you can go to the link currently showing on the screen. And for example, we have 3 ways of synchronize or download the snapshot from the BSC chain. But as you can see, if you use wget, which is often used by a lot of developers, then you get 35 megabytes per second. That is around 20 hours download if totally. But if you come to BSC snapshot, which we have contributed in the past several weeks, then it goes to like 500 megabytes per second, which is actually the limit of some server hard disk. So we have tested this tool from different locations in US, from Japan. So that's the speed we currently get. So which actually reduced the synchronized time from 20 hours to almost 1 hour, which I think really help a lot of miners to run their nodes. Yes, and all these things are actually are based on our Meson network, which currently has more than 100K nodes distributed in 5 continents. So we believe in the future we will continue to optimize this tool. We believe in the future with more tight cooperation, we can do more contribution to Binance and Greenfield community.
Yes, definitely. This tool can be quite helpful for as well on the synchronization side. So but I do invite everyone to look into this proposal on the management of the history, which is quite interesting, to be able to prune historical data in multiple segment way. Of course, all those numbers are still subject to research and feedback from the community. So I do invite everyone to look into the forum to get more information on top of it. Now jumping into another, let's say, hot topic on the forum, which is the fusion of BNB chain and Beacon chain, which is something, let's go maybe a bit more into the evolution as well of Beacon chain to the BNB smart chain. So as you know, Beacon chain was the original chain of the whole ecosystem. And his main purpose, of course, which is still today, which is playing mostly a crucial role into the security of the whole ecosystem. As you know, on the Beacon chain, this is where the validator staking is happening. So as a community delegator, when you're delegating your BNB, you are of course delegating it on the Beacon chain on a specific validator. So all the voting that is happening on chain when there is new proposal is happening on the Beacon chain as well. So of course the Beacon chain had a, let's say, immense security role in order to secure all those network. Nevertheless, as we have seen recently, BSC has gained immense popularity within the retail user as well. We have usually more than 1 million daily active user, which is quite important. And the number of BNB that has been staked to secure the network is up to 20 million or even more as of today. So it's showing as well the commitment of the community to delegate BNB to secure the network. So of course it is adding some challenges as well to have multiple chain. We have, for example, a focus as well currently on BSC, which is maybe more L2. We have Greenfield from the community, which is coming in order to have more, let's say, wider range of use case using decentralized storage network. And of course, maintaining Beacon chain can as well pose some difficulties to the community. So this is where the community has issued a proposal that is still under discussion in the forum. So I do invite everyone to jump in and give feedback as well to potentially merge BNB Beacon chain within the BNB smart chain. which of course this merge is quite strategic and technical as well in order to change the governance of the whole BSC, which can be leading to a more community governance, for example. So there's some high-level steps that need to be included. Those are still highly level discussed in the forum. There's of course the governance transition, where currently the shifting of all the governance that is happening on the beacon chain should be moved into the BSC. Of course, it can be either moved like as is, or the community can as well give some feedback to be able to enhance the governance process and maybe add more features to it in order to have more impacts from the community perspective. Of course, there is as well all those token transition. As you know, the beacon chain had the DEX, which was quite highly used by the community, and we do need to, for example, like convert all the BEP2 into BEP20, and of course assist users as well post conversion and post merge. A few dApp migration that need to be done as well, and of course the storing of the preservation of all the beacon chain ledger and data that need to be, of course, stored as well, and potentially could be on BNB Greenfield, which is, of course, our decentralized storage network that we are going to discuss heavily today. So those two were the main, let's say, hot topic that I wanted to discuss today. We have a few hot topics as well that are happening on the forum. As you can see here, let's say I've categorized them into two distinct, one which is more for BSC, one which is more for OPBNB. So I do invite everyone to go to the forum to have a further discussion and give you feedback or your suggestion and proposal to how potentially BSC community can challenge and can fix all those different ideas that we are having. Nevertheless, let's jump right into BNB Greenfield. So as you know, today is the mainnets. So everyone is welcome to join Greenfield and test it out. And there's already a few dApps that has been launched and a few which are currently being migrated from testnet to mainnet as we talk. I think of storage and Omeson as well, which are currently migrating from that testnet to mainnet. So really looking forward for the discussion today. Before we go more into technical detail, I just wanted to remind a bit the journey that went through BNB Greenfield. So it started, of course, like early this year with the white paper from the community, but the testnet launch date was April 10th, which was approximately 5 months ago only. We had more than 2,000 already on-chain transactions. We had more than 150 unique wallets, which was interacting with Greenfield. And of course, we had the support of like multiple high storage providers, such as Newlink or Foreverland, for example, which are currently migrating into the mainnet of their environment as well. We have some good numbers, especially in terms of upload and download. So those numbers are quite interesting as well. But now that we've migrated finally to the mainnet, of course, every audit has been done by multiple external companies. There is, of course, this native integration between BNB Smart Chain and Greenfield that facilitated by relayers, something that Human Rights Storation and Mason are going to use as well within their products. It is a cheaper storage cost compared to most popular cloud vendors as well. So I do invite everyone to look into potentially how the pricing model and the billing is done within Greenfield. So I do invite everyone to join our documentation to have more insight into it as well. Of course, there's on-chain governance as well. And initially, we have like approximately even 11 storage provider and 13 validator from the community, which are active from the start or which are currently joining the network as we speak as well. Because of course, like whenever there is a new storage provider, there is a bit of a, let's say, on-chain process due to the voting and the time as well. So this is already happening right now on-chain. So everyone can have a view into it and look it up. Before we jump into maybe storage and the graph, I just want to remind everyone, feel free to go to our blog. We have a few different use cases that can give you some ideas of how you can potentially use Greenfield, what Greenfield is, and how it is leveraged by already existing project on testnet, which are going to migrate to mainnet. So it can already give some builders some good idea on how potentially Greenfield can be used, because Greenfield is not only a storage solution, but it's mainly as well a programmable storage solution. So it's quite advanced, and you can as well manage like user rights and like data marketplace as well, something that was not possible till today. So let's deep dive into some solutions. So maybe storage, and you want to go ahead and let me maybe share one of your slides where you want to maybe discuss a bit about your solution, and then let's discuss about the number 4, where you can maybe explain a bit the community, like how you've been using a Greenfield feature and what were the tool that were used by you and your team in order to really like deliver it to the community and how potentially like other developer might be able to utilize as well.
Yeah, thank you, Arnold. Let me dive into. As you can see in the graph, actually, I won't go into very detailed presentation of the store chain part, but about the number 4 part. So basically, store chain is NFT dApp. Okay, it by you leveraging the different AI models, it generates NFT metadata and NFT image and story data. Then it needs to put these data into a decentralized storage. Here we check the opportunity of using BNB Greenfield and leverage using it. So here on number 4, after we generate NFT metadata and the NFT image, we use the Go library of Greenfield command. Actually, maybe it would help some people if I just share the website for that.
Sure, feel free to send it to me and I can share it to people.
Yeah, it's just the GitHub page of Greenfield command.
Okay, let me pull it up. You can maybe explain it to the people. 1 second.
Yeah.
So Greenfield.
Okay, it's live at the moment. I think it can be seen. So yeah, basically, this library, by the way, constantly gets updated. It's pretty straightforward and very easy to use this through command line. Of course, this would be a bit more the technical part. There are also user interfaces that end users can directly interact with BNB Greenfield by using this Greenfield command line, just following the instructions on GitHub page. People can set these up. I actually wrapped this library on my Node.js scripts, and so whenever there is a NFT minting process, I also run this library through my Node.js backend. So by using this, basically here, the object part, so Greenfield command object put and object remove, it just straightforwardly puts these files into BNB Greenfield. So if I go back to the can you put it back through the slides? Thank you. So here, by wrapping this Greenfield command Go library inside Node.js script, by the way, there are JavaScript libraries as well, BNB Greenfield, but I just use this one. I mean, people can select different libraries. All of them are working pretty well. So here, whenever there is a metadata, we upload this into Greenfield. And also, we upload this story data into Greenfield as well by using these commands. Here, the important part that separates Greenfield with other decentralized storage solutions is that, for example, on IPFS, you just have a hash for a file, and it's immutable. You can change that. But the story parts, the stories we have on the system, needs to get updated by keeping the same URL address. So, for example, let's say story number 15. Whenever it gets a new page, we need to keep the same URL for that data without changing the URL, but adding new data. Here, by using the command line tools, we just update the file with the same file name. And for the NFT part, NFT metadata and NFT image, we just upload this and never remove them, so keep them as immutable. We are not using the access control and file ownership, as by design, the system requires this to be handled by the contract creator by the nature of NFT systems. Besides that, after uploading all these data into BNB Greenfield, we simply paste the ID of this BNB Green file into the contract, and actors, so basically end users, when they enter the front end, they can directly load these files through BNB Greenfield storage providers. Basically, that's how it is.
So if I understand correctly, one of the main advantages as well is that you are able to having a fixed URL but still updating files. So by potentially deleting and re-uploading, correct? So this
Yes,
is
that's
helping
correct.
you to potentially build something that is more dynamic.
Yes,
but without,
exactly. Normally, we would use centralized sources for this kind of stuff, right? We would keep these in a database or any other centralized source. But of course, by using blockchain, we want to go fully decentralized. And BNB Greenfield basically allows this by replacing files into the system. This is just many of the opportunities that BNB Greenfield offers, of course. There are many other use cases as well.
Right. I know you haven't been yet had time potentially, because I know the hack version was a bit short as well. Any plan to integrate permission into your solution? Because for people to really understand as well, one of the main advantage of Greenfield is the permission management. So Greenfield is really offering you a great way to customize the permission, and potentially it's be like when we look into the data marketplace, for example, of Greenfield, you can really see that you can, for example, sell the access to a specific file. So have you had time to look into as well permission into implementing it within StoryChain?
Yes, definitely. Actually, I not for the story chain, but while of course playing with BNB Greenfield when the testnet was first launched, I went through it and checked these permissions, access controls. For the story chain part, for the current system, we are not going to use the permission part, but we have some ongoing development that not for the collaboration storytelling, but with single user interactions that create, for example, one user will be able to create the entire of the story. There we will be able to give permission or give access to these files directly to the user, just as you mentioned, through a marketplace.
Right. So just for people to be able to be aware as well of where they can potentially find or lose information. So on our documentation, everything has been updated, of course, with the latest like mainnet RPC. So you can already find how you can connect to Greenfield and deploy as well onto the mainnet directly. There is, of course, tutorial as well on, for example, permission control or how to integrate your DApp within the BSC smart contracts and Greenfield directly. So into this, for example, tutorial, we have the general permission control, which is letting you developers and builders to really understand how permission can be managed on Greenfield and how you can give access to a file which is private. So for example, if I upload a file which is private, I can potentially give access to someone via a smart contract. So this is quite novel as well, and hopefully we'll be able to let you use it to really build a specific data marketplace. One discussion I had as well, we know that, for example, in a lot of decentralized storage network, and here maybe Mason can jump in as well, there's a lot of, let's say, latency issue in terms of accessing file and downloading file. So StoryChain, did you experience any like latency as well into accessing
Yes,
file? Or is
definitely.
Greenfield like a bit better versus, or much better versus other solutions such as IPFS or Arweave, for example?
I mean, it's much better. When you put into IPFS, you need to wait for much longer. But on BNB Greenfield, it's just almost instant. Once you upload it, users can access it directly if you set the accessibility, of course. By the user experience, I think it's indefinitely better than IPFS.
Right. Regarding the access, so maybe Mason, do you have any as well? Like, I know that Greenfield maybe is still like novel and new, so maybe there's not that much, let's say, data currently hosted. So of course the access might be fast, but of course the more we scale, the more the need of potential CDN or even DNS on Greenfield. Do you have any plan to publish something like a CDN for Greenfield as well in the near future?
Definitely. I mean, we have did public database synchronization for our first proposal, and we have another two interesting proposals. One is the put a lot of protocols over this kind of storage chain, because and another, I will start with the first proposal, because for example, I think in previous Web 2 or like currently web technology, all these important domains are controlled actually centrally by United Nations. If you know that they are there is actually very big building and a lot of people in this, and a lot of super computers inside this building, which is protested by some people there, protected by some people there. Actually, I think this is quite centralized, as we are trying to build a decentralized world. I think all these important root DNS, you know, um, there should be not just controlled by somebody, but fully controlled by the people who own them. So Greenfield definitely will be a very good place to write all these important protocols. Um, so we have proposed some interesting proposals. After implementing all these proposal, I think people could actually put all their domain on Greenfield, and we could provide some technology to customize, and we provide the related software for people who could customize all these DNS resolution process. And after that, I think everyone finally could really own their own website, their own domain. This is our proposal. I mean, in terms of latency and I think permission control, I think we think in this way, because for a lot of if you look at current user behavior, there are a lot different behaviors. For example, if you use Google Meeting, of course you can change the link to some private group, and for like videos, for pictures, for images, for some public media, of course you want to share this to to more people. And we mention here tries to ease the process for people to share information. And importantly, for example, we have so many globally distributed nodes, so we can be the cache layer for all these files on Greenfield. For example, a user in USA, they can directly go to Greenfield, or they can go to Mason. And because our nodes, we have a big bandwidth, and user gonna have much bigger, better user experience when in terms of latency and this kind of stuff. I think we try to cooperate with to integrate with Greenfield to provide more user-friendly and better user experience when people comes to use Greenfield. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for the explanation. I think there is definitely a need to potentially people to use like .bnb domain and be able to have website directly linked to Greenfield in a fully decentralized way, where they can truly own the data and like own as well the access to the file or access to the community as well. I think those two are true like features that should be developed by the community. I'm missing one guest which is not joining, so the call will be a bit shortened today. But I want to discuss firstly as well, like into our wish list, let's say, our grand wish list, which Mason actually used as well to publish one of the proposal. So on GitHub, like for builders, we have the community contribution repo, which is public, where you can find a few wish lists, like especially for high demanding and innovative ideas. Of course, the category as such, for example, we have dispatched it into multiple categories. There are, of course, the core chain, and which is more on the core protocol, and which some which are on the DApp, which is more use cases, for example, divided into three, of course, so for BSC, OPBNB, or BNB Greenfield. So of course, we really welcome everyone to see what are the different wish lists that we have and how potentially you might fit into one, or if you want to take a specific challenge and answer this specific challenge. So for example, if I open, let's say for example, the BNB Greenfield DApp wish list, now that we can see that there are quite a few, like 8 actually different example of DApp that we're potentially, the community is looking into having on Greenfield as well. Of course, there is highly, let's say, objective and challenge as well, which can really help you to understand what needs to be done and build as well. So it's really a good like understanding of what the community is waiting as potential DApp on Greenfield. So really welcoming everyone to have to go to our GitHub, the community contribution repo, and have a look into all the different wish lists that we have. Of course, as I say, Greenfield, OPBNB, and a BSC as well. So hopefully you'll find something that is truly attractive to you, and it's going to passionate you as well into building and delivering for our community. As always, we have like feel free to go to our Discord as well if you have any question regarding Greenfield and how potentially you can integrate Greenfield. So as I mentioned, so now if we go, for example, to Greenfield scan, we can see that the Explorer is here fully online to the mainnet. So there's already more than 200 total addresses, more than 120 gigabytes, which have been uploaded. So people are already starting to use it. So feel free to jump into it and see how you can as well leverage Greenfield mainnet and utilize it. If you have, of course, as I mentioned, if you have any issue into using it, feel free to jump into our like technical documentation or Discord as well, which is here to help you. So thank you for today. I don't know if Mason or Storchain, if you had any final word as well for the start of Greenfield mainnets.
Yeah. First of all, thank you for this call. The mainnet, yeah, it's really exciting. I will be hopping onto that as well with the start today. So thank you.
Yeah, no. Thanks for inviting us here, and I believe this is as I know, today is the beginning of the launch of Greenfield. I think in the future it's going to be a great thing. And anyway, congratulations to the launch of the Greenfield. Yes.
Okay. Thanks everyone, and looking forward to see what you're going to build on Greenfield. And don't forget to jump into our forum as well if you have any feedback or discussion you want to have around the different BEP proposal that we currently have. There are quite a lot of discussion ongoing into enhancing the BSC as a whole ecosystem. So thanks everyone for joining, and see you next time.